WOJB. And you are listening to Anishinaabe Sober Voices, a a forum for Anishinaabe people and the communities to tell their stories about drug and alcohol abuse, discussing drug and alcohol issues impacting the Native people, and providing resources to improve the quality of life for the LCO tribal community. And with me today in the studio is Steve and Tracy coming in on Indian time. Good to have her here at least. And that's what Steve said. I didn't say it. But
I said Las Vegas time.
Yeah.
When spirit permits.
No. How are we all doing? Are we enjoying the snowfall?
Not me.
More excited to be leaving.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. So, what's happening in your worlds today or tonight?
Well,
anybody speak up.
Well, we're still running the same programs, and we've been picking up people from, like we said before, picking up people across the Indian country, pretty much in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan. And
move out there.
And we're doing that. We're still doing the talking circles. We're still doing Zoom. Still got a couple more leads on a place to have the meeting. You know, to actually have a meeting where we can have people on Zoom and people that want to come in and sit down and be at the meeting in person. So kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
And Tracy's been working on like an Alateen program. Maybe you might want to talk about that just a little bit and the dates of when you're going to have your first meeting.
Well, when I originally posted it, it was supposed to be the 5th, 4th, but unexpected trip came up, so we're going to be doing our first one on April 11th, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for our youth, Alateen, any just affected by drugs and alcohol, which pretty much all of us.
Yeah.
And it's to give more support for our youth and to support them more, because maybe we can help them not go through the things that we had to go through. And also a lot of us have children ourselves, and we feel like we're supporting each other, but then we're leaving our kids. And so we want our kids to have support as much as we do. And so we've been talking about the kids have their meetings over here and the parents are over here.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even at some point we can come together and plan trips with the kids, and instead of doing sober activities, we'll do youth activities, and the sober parents can help. No.
Right. Yeah.
But I think we should focus more on our youth and, and still do sober activities, of course, but I mean.
Well, a lot of the youth were probably younger children during our years of using, and they've learned a certain behavior because of our using. And now that we're sober, they might be having a hard time making the adjustment to who we are in our sobriety and not understanding what to do, probably because they were codependent on something happening in a certain way at a certain time. And now that's all changed. So there's some support that's needed for that transition for them. They're probably really happy that we're sober.
Right.
But, you know,
And a lot of us in our group were sober, but we're not completely healed. So we still have issues yet too. So, and we want them to understand we're working on this.
yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that the approach that Tracy and I have taken, like with our groups for the adults, is, you know, a family, you know, that we're like a family.
Yeah.
And so in dealing with that, you know, it's important that we look at the programs that we're doing from a family perspective, you know, and that, you know, we're dealing with the adults, but we really had no programs, you know, to work with the youth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, Tracy said she wanted to, you know, move forward and see if we could start a group, and I think it's great, and I think I'm hopeful, you know, the community will grab onto it and be part of it, because it would be great to have some things that we could do, sober activities that we could do with the kids and the parents.
Sure.
Some of the programs that we've done under other processes of, you know, we've focused on adults, and you know, I've got canoes that were donated, and I got ice shanties and all that kind of stuff, and
And I got one canoe and a
Yep.
kayak.
and so we could do camping trips and all that kind of stuff. So those are just you know, those are just some of the things to look at, and looking at it from the perspective of a family, you know, looking at it on ways of bringing the entire family together in sobriety, and providing, you know, individual programs, individual group programs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we gotta interrupt this program a minute.
Oh, we're
Happy
Oh.
birthday to you.
I was wondering what she was doing.
Happy birthday to
You want me to sing too? Happy birthday, dear Steve. Happy birthday to you. I don't sing it to him.
Me, Gwatch. I was going to sing for myself. Oh, me, Gwatch.
I'm thinking,
Man.
what is she doing down there on the floor with all this stuff? And it's like, oh dear.
Wow.
And on behalf of all of your sober family,
Uh-huh.
we got you a gift.
Oh, Lee.
Oh.
Look at that, eh? Oh, that's beautiful.
Now you're LCO.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Holy, wow, that's thanks. Thanks, Tracy.
That's great.
And we owe you a dinner.
No, you owe him a dinner, not we. Don't put this we stuff in there.
Yeah, Mark kept saying, we. Do you have a mouse in your pocket? That's what he kept saying. I don't understand why I was saying that. Well, miigwech, everybody.
One
for that.
for Mark and me too.
I know.
Well, there's actually 3 of each for us. Those are
They're long johns.
they're long johns. I thought they were little cupcakes, but okay. Yeah, 1 for each of us. All right.
Yep. So did you want me to light it and blow out the candles, Mark?
I didn't know weathers, that's why I didn't light it.
We need a few more candles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that package
No.
isn't going to be enough either.
I can't say they weren't on there. No.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing
Uh,
people out there in the airs will understand, that are out and listening, will understand, is that 59 is a big year in your life.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big, you know, you're making that transition over into being an elder, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So for all of those that are going to be 59 out there,
Well, at
I hope you
LCO,
appreciate
it's 55, so you get a quicker chance of even though they're at 55 here at LCO.
wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I told my wife that the other day. She turned a certain age, and I said, you know, now you could join me at the Elders Association. She
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
like that.
Yeah. Wow, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Well, don't eat them now, because then you go.
Yeah. Mark really doesn't want to clean all the
the
Icing
sprinkles.
icing off the microphones.
All right. Where were we? What were we talking about?
We were talking about Alatini
Oh, yes.
And I think that Tracy did say it was going to be on the 11th. And at what time?
7 o'clock at the Peter Larson's room, and every Tuesday following.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So anyway, you got more you want to say about it? Or?
Mm,
Mm,
we kind of said it.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay. Thanks.
that's something I was. We were talking about having a space available. You know, anytime, any place. But doesn't the Peter Larson room work for that type of for your different talking circles, or is it logistically difficult? And I mean for the adults as well, because you were talking about we don't have a place of our own,
Yeah.
if you will, and how do we do this logistically?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody could.
Well, with the even Kenneman could work, because when we do our Ojibwe language table, we're there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But we start earlier than what.
Mhm.
Maybe we could change
But
that.
but for like meetings and stuff, that works. I mean, we can find places, but for like getting together and doing crafts and helping them to do crafts and stay sober, because once they get
For
bored,
activities.
when they get bored, that's when they relapse. But the more we
Right.
get together, that's less chance they're gonna use and
Mhm.
keep them busy and keep them.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I went out previously to some of the departments and we did crafts hands-on, they had their kids with them too.
And a lot of them are. Some of them are the ones living in hotel rooms, so they're sitting in a hotel room 24/7, and that gets very depressing for them
Oh,
too.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so just
Yeah.
to air out once in a great
And
while.
the kids are bouncing off the walls because there's nothing to do except watch cable TV and play on their tablets if they have them.
Yeah.
Either that or they live way out in the boonies, and some
Yeah.
are having a hard time
Can't
even
afford gas.
on Zoom or
Yeah. Yeah. They even have a hard time getting on Zoom because their internet isn't very good. So yeah, those are some great things. We can check into some of those. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this whole thing starting up. People
But we've-
talking about it and stuff.
We've
Yeah.
talked with like over in Flambeau too, of having like sobriety dinners at like on the different reses and stuff, because we've got people from different places.
Right.
And so sometimes they can come over here, sometimes we can go over there, and
Yeah, we think we're getting better at getting the transportation piece put in place,
mhm.
and we got an opportunity to get another vehicle. And so that's something that's a kind of a big deal,
Hmm.
And I know that the tribal government on occasion has even supported
Yep, they helped us with the van
with
and
the van and stuff too. So yeah, but it would be good, like Tracy said, to have a place where people can go and they can break out of that place where they are 24/7,
get out their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and do crafts and stuff. I do see that some of the places, I'm not sure if it's open to the public, but some of the places on the res are making skirts.
Yep, they did that last night, and that was
Yeah.
open to the public. That
Okay.
was at the men's and women's shelter.
Oh, at both of them, not just the one.
There's one where they're both. There's 3 shelters here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I just
Yep,
thought
we got
there was
our-
the separate women's and the separate men's.
We got the men's shelter over here.
Yep.
Then there's a domestic shelter, just women.
Okay. Yep.
And then they got the one on Haskins Road, and it's pretty much like a family
Okay.
shelter.
Hmm.
You see the moms and dads and kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
There's lots of things
And-
that,
They have quite a few different things going on over there too. They stay pretty busy over there and have a lot of different activities. And I know Steve did a few things over there, and you hear them doing some really good things over there.
Mhm.
Yeah, they are. They are doing good things. But if we had a place like where anybody can come, you know what I mean?
They were telling me, a few of them were telling me they even have meetings over there. I still got to get the dates and times.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Like on, I think they said Tuesdays, but I'm not positive, but I can look into that and get dates
Yeah.
and times.
You know, like the more we can offer, the better. You know what I mean? The more new
Or just-
things and the more.
Right.
I don't mind sitting in other people's too.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, uh, I just think it's great that some of these things are popping and there's more opportunities. And I think, like Tracy said previously, that once the snow gets out of here
Yeah.
and we really do have spring and summer, there's lots of stuff we can do outside, you know, and we might even be able to construct a little lodge to do meetings in, you know.
Yeah,
But-
once spring comes, we can get more things going.
Yeah, and you know that would be cool too to have like a structure that was put together by a bunch of people, you know, in the community that's being used for a good cause, you know. And yeah, there's lots of really good things that can be done, you know. And I just know that if there's any way I can help with any of those things, I'll be more than glad to do it. You know, I just
Yeah.
I'm older than 59. Everybody that was laughing when I said I was 59.
Hmm.
So I've been around for a long time and I know how to do a lot of stuff and I'd be willing to help in any way. And I know that there are other people out there too in the community that feel the same way. But sometimes you just got to ask them, you know, that's what I found. You just got to bring them tobacco and ask them if they'd be interested in doing it. And a lot of people, and money's just not, you know, money's just not an issue. And I think that's important too, that people are willing to give their time back to help the community, whether it's adults or youth or anybody in the community.
Hmm.
And I think the whole idea of looking at things from a family perspective
Yeah.
is a very, very good way of doing that. Um,
Hmm.
because we have, you know, it takes, like we say sometimes it takes a village the old way.
Right.
It takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to help somebody who's in recovery.
Yeah.
You know, it takes whether it's a young person or middle-aged person or older person or elder, whatever it might be. You know, it takes the whole community willing to help that person,
Sure.
family included. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes.
So I just picked up the phone line and we're going to see who this is on the phone line. I think it might be Blair. Blair, is that you?
Okay.
I knew she was. I knew she was calling.
Yeah.
No.
Hi, my name is Blair. I am a medic in alcoholic recovery. I just want to speak a little bit on my story with alcoholic recovery.
Sure.
Steve and Tracy have been like a huge part of my recovery. Lately, Steve has been like coming over and smoking craft and helping me a lot. I have two people that know distractions in my life that I get
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you can't really get over the road, like, it makes you like, one day I'm sure not to be able to love this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope a lot of it. So like, instead of relapsing, I've been fasting a lot. I've been making like over bracelets and um, I created things for my children, created things for my nephews, and it really helped me a lot with, getting to that place where you are that normally would do for myself.
Yeah.
I just, yeah, like, yeah, and fasting helps kind of take your mind off of everything. You're completely your mind is completely like you just kind of feel relaxed and kind of be creative in the moment, and I love it. And I sweat a lot, and all I know is that like once I reach that point that day that my sweat starts together,
Yeah.
and yeah, I reflected upon that, and I knew I shouldn't have done it, but I did it, and that's where we're going. That's like backwards. So, and rebuilding a strong bond with my children again. Um, that's just a big one for me. To, well, my daughter moving my book that I've been reading, and I'm very grateful of it because I what do I do? My mom was like, you want chat? Okay, like she'll give you a bit of understanding of, like what you're feeling
Mm-hmm.
when you're saying bad things. I'm like, well, like she'll help me really learn from this because it's like you just don't want them to turn what they say to you and understand what, like you didn't mean to destroy yourself in front of them.
Right.
But yeah, like I think potential dating is going to be very beneficial for them because there are next generations we can't turn back. So like grandkids, like we got to give them a better version than what we've been through.
Well, and they're going to have a lot of negative influences at school and peer pressure, and they're going to see their friends who may not have the same opportunity for a place to go and talk about these things to have a positive peer pressure type of thing. Um, they're going to be out partying along with their friends, and how do they fight against that? Tracy, how does Allenteen give students tools for that?
Uh, a lot of it is knowing that we are the change. Yes, everything is messed up, but we're the ones that gotta heal it. That it's getting better each year. And that's kind of like what we explain in our sober family group too. I always remind them of what our ancestors went through, and this is just the ending of that. And so
Mm-hmm.
some of what we're feeling ain't even ours, and and a lot of people don't realize that some of the stuff that they're feeling ain't even their own. We carry the pain of our ancestors, and once they realize that, and there's more, and you're not only healing yourself, you're healing your ancestors, you're healing your family right here.
Yeah,
It's healing everybody around you as you do that work,
and it's healing future generations.
and future generations, and it's getting our feet into the ground, and we're everything we need is inside us already.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to change who we are, we just need to become who we are, and know that you're perfect just the way you are.
Yeah.
And try to build up that confidence and self-esteem and because all of us need it. I mean, everybody's depressed. Everybody's had a tragedy in their family, and it's still ongoing at sometimes. And we just got to pull together as a community, and we can't forget our children.
Blair, are your children with you? Living with you?
Well, they live with their father.
Okay.
We visit almost every night, really.
Yeah.
Our father's like going really strong. I've noticed that like when you stop by tonight, you're gonna be there. Happy birthday to you, by the way.
Oh, my gosh.
Um, so like grief is another thing that we have to deal with as adults. Um, that may be something that plays recovery. Like you might have not dealt with the grief while you were not sober, and it hits you like the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, once you're sober, you got to face it. You don't have the drugs or alcohol to cover it up.
Yeah, we try to work with that too. We teach techniques and that's what we plan to do with this Alateen too. Not only myself, but my sister Suzanne.
Mm-hmm.
We plan to help give meditation techniques and how to calm yourself down naturally without anything,
Right?
and just to find that inner peace, because we can go to that anytime we want to, no matter what's going on around us, and we can help show some techniques to help you get you guys there, and we've both been practicing this for a while, and it's changed our lives tremendously, and we want to
Wow.
share that with everybody else. And
Mm-hmm.
and Carmen too is starting to learn about her chakras and all those things too, and meditations and things
Yeah.
too, and it don't matter whether you're Christian or our traditional. That our teachings are pretty much the same. It's just not judging each other and how we pray. We can still be family. We have more things alike than we do that are different.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get down to the basic of the teachings, our teachings are teaching us the same things.
Yeah.
And they say he loves everybody, and he made all these different cultures for a reason. They're all beautiful. They all have something to teach. And if we can be friends, we can teach each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people in our group are not tradition, some are Christian, and we welcome that too.
exactly, like we're all
We're all
having that.
we're all just humans, and it don't matter your race. We have some people from town in our groups. We have people and it's all races, and it's beautiful, and we look forward to it every week, and it's like our family keeps growing and growing and growing.
Like we're just having kids. We're like dreamers.
Yeah.
And another good thing that is in our things, we don't put that shame out there, because we've all been through all the things, and some people get ashamed of their past or whatever. And when they come into our group, they realize you don't need to be ashamed for that. Everything happens for a reason. And it's just to look at what did it teach you. Even when things are going wrong, I tell them, quit saying, why is things going wrong? Look at it like, okay, what is this trying to teach me? And just change your mindset and
Look,
how you look at things,
look
your
for the
perspective.
opportunity.
Yes, the
The
growth.
opportunity for growth. Yeah.
That's exactly that. Like, I get up in the morning, I push myself. If I feel low, or if I'm feeling hurt, I'll lay there a little
Hmm.
when chemo is really draining. And the only thing I want to be able to get that hospital kind of take this toll on me, but I have to have a caretaker now, and that's complicated. I never thought it would get to this point, but the only person who's blaming myself like, what will call it, but change your whole life. I mean, it's all fun and games for a while, but all in one is not the way to go. I really wish I could take back time because that was so cool that nobody, but instead of being down on myself, I can't talk down on myself like I was. Well, if it does get draining, then I mean, people tell me that it's party and I shouldn't go on. He won't just make me work today, but what's really going on? And I'm like, I literally just sit here and talk to myself all day. I mean, I even talk to my team. Say this now.
She's making moccasins for him.
I still got his eyeballs.
Oh yeah, yep, he needs his eyeballs. Yeah, you might do well now. But that, stuff like that gives me great support. Like, I thought, like, having cancer, going through all this stuff was going to be like, I was so embarrassed of it at first because I didn't want to tell nobody. Eventually got to the point where I had to tell everybody. And my children don't know yet. Doctors told them. I don't want to scare them. But, it's just, it's something I want to share because alcoholism will lead to lead development. And I thought smoke was going to be a way, I already was so bad with it, and then cancer came along, even harder. But the only person who related to me, and the best support that I had is the person that I know me and betrayed me, and I got a great support system.
Mm-hmm.
Like, constant thoughts tell me if you want to survive, then let's heal you.
And you're doing great.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm very proud of how far I've came.
And we are too.
Yeah, we're proud of you.
Yeah, it's been a rough battle, but the only person who's gonna, the only failure is gonna be you. But, you gotta keep on going. One thing, you want that future, you gotta keep on going for the better. Sometimes it's not an easy way, but it's the worst way. Yeah, that much. Thank you, Steve, for all the wonderful gifts. Thank you, Grace, for the wonderful medicine. I've been burning it, and it's been helping me so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep, thank you, guys.
Mhm. Yeah, that's an important thing, and that's why we do what we do. That's why we think that having support, having support for people, sober support, support for people, is a real important thing. And I think it proves to her and other people that the support that people have in their lives makes a huge difference. Their chance of success in staying sober. And if a person's trying to stop using and is living with others who use, it's almost impossible sometimes for them to stop using. And so there has to be, that strong support environment and strong sober support for people and for other people around them, that can help them stay sober. That's why we believe that, this whole family approach is important. And not just the family that they have, maybe their blood relatives and stuff, but other people that are in their lives that are part of their family. And if it's going to treatment, it's going to be helpful for them. They're going to get, they're going to find that that they need the support of people to go to treatment. I mean, even though they most of the time make up their own minds, they've got to have a support system for them before they go to treatment, a support system for them while they're in treatment, and especially when they get out of treatment. That's really important. Or what happens is that they'll go back to their old habits, and being back in their own environment is not going to be a productive thing.
Change your circle.
Yeah. And coming back home to a lot of people is sometimes one of the hardest parts of going away to treatment. Is coming back. I know I'm working with a couple of young men right now that have finally made a decision that they want to go to treatment, but they're worried about what's going to happen. And so I'm working with them on something called it's like a post-treatment plan, but it's really a development plan, a plan to create a situation and look at situations and try to follow through with that plan, and that maybe there's going to be some intervening variables in that plan that are not going to work out for them. That sometimes people say the greatest plans of mice and men. That we can make these great plans, but sometimes they don't always come out. So you have to have contingency plans. You got to have plans to look at in case something doesn't work, the way you want it. And people are going to need, like I said, pre, during, and post treatment plans and support. And that's going to include probably counselors and therapists and all part of that sobriety team, that we talk about here. And we've had different people in here talking about, that we're all part of that system, that no one has a magic wand. Therapists, counselors, peer support people. Nobody has a perfect wand that they can wave to help those people. And lots of times what happens is that they need to understand that this whole team of people are working together to help them, and that we try to do that the best we can. We as members of that team to help those people, that community development team, are there to help them. And it might be a sponsor, it might be a meeting, it might be a clinic, it might be mental health counseling, substance abuse counseling, housing, whoever it might be that's part of that person's life that's there to help them. That's important that you have the support team there, and for there to be an opportunity for success by having all those different resources, trying to help that person we never used to have, and I know we've talked about this a lot on this show, and that we never used to have all these resources that we have today.
No.
I talk about the, you know, Monday nights at 7 o'clock at the city hall, uh, in the parking lot. Everybody that's parked there is an alcoholic in the community, wearing that scarlet letter of A, you know. And so that's why it's really important to have that. And you know, sometimes people can't go back and do things the way they used to do them. They can't go back and have the friends that they had before,
Mm-hmm.
or be physically located in a place where they're still, after they come back out of treatment, in a place where there's still a lot of alcohol and drug abuse going on. And so, as a result of that, that even throws more challenges to the people that are trying to walk that red road. I mean, um, a lot of them don't think they have to worry about finding other housing, or that they don't have to find other friends. And it's really hard to give up. I know how hard it was for me to give up um, a lot of my friends that still, drank and still did drugs when I decided, 35, 36 years ago to not drink or drug anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's important that people look at that, and that I think if you at least have some kind of a plan, like what about this, what about that, what about this, what about that, and you talk about it with other people, whether it's your sponsor, people in your group, your family, your supporters, whoever that is. I think that that's important to have that plan there, even though some parts of that plan might not be able to be followed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've got that basic plan, um, if you've got that basic plan, then you've got something to work from, and you don't have to shoot from the hip. And maybe those plans, like any kind of plan, are going to be subject to change. There's things out there in the world. I call them intervening variables. There are things out in the world out there that are going to come about that you just can't speculate that they're going to happen. But I know one thing: helping people that are that are that are coming out of treatment, helping them find a job, helping them find a place to stay. Housing is like a real challenge. It's not just the fact that they'll say, well, there's housing, but then the people may not want to rent to those people because they have a lot of things on their record.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when I worked in Michigan with Correction Employment Service, that was a group of folks that were funded by the federal and state government to help people find jobs after they got out of prison, or sometimes out of alcohol and drug abuse facilities. It's hard because some of those people don't want to hire those people.
Yeah.
Because they got that scarlet letter.
Yeah.
And so getting back into school. I don't think it's just a matter as wonderful as the colleges and GED people and all that are, and they want to help. It's a lot different for a person who's over 40 years old, been out of school for 20, 30 years, 20 years. That to just go back and just jump into going back to school. So I spent a lot of my career working with people that had those kind of challenges, and I plan to work with a couple of people in this community to help them put together a plan also for how they're going to go about going back to school. And creating a educational development plan and working with the people at the colleges and the other people that do adult basic education, ABE, and some of those others to maybe get them ready to go back.
Yeah.
I know we used to have a program called the Displaced Homemakers Program, and it did nothing to do with drugs and alcohol, but it had to do with, here's a woman who got married when she was like, say 18, and she's 40 now, and she was with a man with the kids, and now she's a single parent, and she never worked most of her life. She was a stay-at-home mom, and I know that's not as prevalent now as it was back in the day, but the bottom line is we still have those issues out there, and we need to prepare those people and help those people a little bit more. Because I think if you look at the statistics, the typical college student click out there is not 18 years old, high school education, and didn't have any blips in her life or anything like that. I think if you look at the adult basic education and you look at the GED and some of the other things that are going in the community colleges role, I think you'll find that your traditional student, for lack of a better word, aren't those high school graduates that are just getting out of high school.
No, right. They're not.
And today it's even more prevalent. And then we have throwing into that group, you're throwing in people that have had issues with the law, people that have drug and alcohol abuse. And so you have all those people, and you have a lot of those people, which makes me feel like I really want to help a little bit more. You have a lot of those people that have drug and alcohol abuse that want to go on and become drug and alcohol abuse counselors.
Mm-hmm.
And who better to be a drug and alcohol abuse counselor than somebody that's already walked that road.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you'll find, I know in my experience, I find that the people out there that best serve their members and the public are those that have had alcohol and drug abuse issues and are now counselors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anything against other people. I'm just saying I've seen, because they kind of walk the mile in those people's shoes, and they kind of know maybe something that somebody who just didn't get in trouble, didn't use drugs,
Yeah.
went away to school, got their degree and come back, without any of those challenges in their life. I think you'll see that those people want to help, but it's
Mhm.
just not the same.
Yeah.
You can feel when somebody's judging you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And some of the ones that didn't experience it but learn about it in a book, they
Mhm.
don't, I don't know, and they stereotype it or whatever, and the patient can feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I used to work at a faith-based treatment facility in the cities, and it was a 1-year treatment facility. And a lot of the counselors and the people that worked there were former clients of that treatment, and they've been through that, and they can talk to these people who are coming into treatment to say, 1-year commitment, that's a lot.
Yep.
But they can say, I've been there. I know what and here I am today, very successful in my life. So, yeah, it does make a big difference to the people who are entering in treatment to find out somebody has been in their exact shoes prior and can understand what they're dealing with.
Yeah. One of the analogies that I make is, as a veteran, I go to the VA. I've been going to the VA for quite some time. And one of the things I've been doing this last year over at another tribe is working with veterans and trying to get them to go to the VA.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not any kind of recruiter. I'm just, I want to tell them my story.
Yep.
Same way I tell people my story about being an alcoholic and drug addict, and spoon feed them into that. And I can use the same analogy with the VA that people say, "Oh man, I went to the VA so many years ago," blah 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 blah. I think there's also, I think there's also that same kind of a situation we have with people wanting to go to clinics, whether they're tribal clinics or whether they're in town or whatever they are. They may have had a bad
Mm-hmm.
experience, like the people from the VA. And some of the people in the VA have issues with drugs, alcohol, and also they don't want to go to the VA.
Yeah.
So I try to use that as an analogy and just try to spoon feed them. And I think you got to do the same thing with people that are in alcohol and drug abuse. I think you have to um, make it as more
Mm-hmm.
their choice.
Right.
And one of the things I talk about all the time is all the choices. You know, no one has the magic wand out there, and that's why the more choices that we have is not duplication. The more choices that we have gives an opportunity to somebody in the community to go to something, okay, other than what else is out there. It gives them the opportunity to choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody has a magic wand, and so the more choices that people in the community have, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a ceremony, whether it's a church program, whether it's a clinic, whether it's a counselor, whatever it might be, the more choices that people in the community have, the better it is,
Mm-hmm.
because you might catch them on something like that. So anyway, yeah, I mean,
So Blair, you've been kind of quiet lately. What are your thoughts on some of the things we've been talking about?
Um, definitely, I've been through some my school, like what they've been speaking about. Like when I reached my relapse, I mean, it was only a night, but like I was let it was a good session with you, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then writing discussion of all that, and I was learning at the time, and um, all I know is that I definitely want to be here when I'm looking forward, and that was my children, and I'm looking forward and moving to the program. And it was beneficial to find something that I mean, mindful with really get into that like easy to not drink so long,
Mm-hmm.
and looking better my way or and that's what I've learned. I definitely did not feel like that I wanted to I thought that was I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? Oh my god.
Yeah.
And I'm living my own truth right now. All day.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So like, um, I've been crafting a lot, and like I said, like, and I just have to kind of get your, every I actually was the sponsor, my first sponsor, she's a member of our group, and she's amazing. She's recovered alcoholic as well,
Mm-hmm.
and she makes me check in with her
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Closer. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, you bet. Well, Blair, thanks for calling in and being part of this discussion. We really appreciate it. And Steve and Tracy, you keep doing what you're doing, and make sure you post your events and activities on the Sober Visions Facebook page so people know what's happening. And this has been great. You've been listening to Anishinaabe Sober Voices here on WOJB, and we appreciate you for joining us on the air. And coming up next is Mr. Thomas Kane with Drum Song.
So, my lighter on me. You want to light this? Can we
I
light
didn't
this?
know if there was.
Oh, fire things?
Yeah.
You got fire alarms in there?
He's jamming. Don't hear us. He's ignoring us.
No, he's joking. What's going to happen if I light this in there? Is a fire thing going to go off?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What?
Oh, is it? If I light this in here, is the fire thing going to go off?
We don't have a fire thing.
Oh, good. I could smoke my pipe in here then, right?
Yeah, we don't have any smoke detectors.
I don't need one.
We don't have any smoke
I can
detectors in
have a
this
smoke
building.
on.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
No, I'm joking.
With all this equipment.
Come on, Mr. Kane. He's not even.
Right? You guys need a smoke detector. At least one.
Well, yeah.
Just a regular one.
Come on, Tom. I can play this song forever, but
But I'm sure it's insured and we just get a better station.
yeah, maybe.
He's calling 911. You should take a picture of me doing this now.